To make my swatch sheet, I took a white crayon. I like the Boya crayons, and I put a ramekin upside down and just traced around it. So there's 6 circles here that will show up when I put paint on them. Pick nice swatching. So I'm just going to start off with each color. I'm going to get part of the circle wet and part of it's going to be dry on each one. And that way we can see what it looks like wet onto dry and wet onto wet. To do this, you just will need to have all of the 5 lunar colors ready. So we're going to have Lunar Earth, Lunar Red Rock, Lunar Violet, Lunar Blue, and Lunar Black. Now these I just squeezed into the pans earlier today, so they're going to be pretty potent. So this first one is the Lunar Earth, which is the PBR 11, which is a warm earthy brown, and it's great for soil and stone, clay, and the thicker you put it on, it'll actually kind of crackle. So right here, I'm going to put it on in its thickest. Already, we have some crackle. Is that amazing? The next one is Lunar Red Rock, which is a rusty red-orange with heavy granulation, but I don't see the red-orange at all. I see more of a violet. Until it starts to, like when you first put it on, it looks like a violet. And then once it starts to kind of settle, you get that red rock look. Very heavy granulation. So the neat thing about the Lunar Earth and the Lunar Red Rock is these don't have the PBK 11 in them, the Lunar Black. So these have a different kind of granulation. It's not the black that settles, but it actually has the color of the pigment is what the granulation looks like, which is pretty cool. This next one is Lunar Violet. And you can really see that pigment black in it. It says deep violet with smoky granulation. This one has pigment violet 15 with the Lunar Black. Our next one is on many of my palettes. It's one of my favorite colors, and that is the Lunar Blue. And it really does lean blue, and it is the Lunar Earth's best friend. I love those two together. I'm going to put this a little bit thick too. It has rich granulating blue, great for skies and water. I love it for backgrounds also. Very pretty. And that is the Pigment Blue 15 and the Lunar Black. And then I'm going to do the Lunar Black. And this color is one of those ones that you can literally do entire paintings with just one color. The Lunar Black is pure PBK 11, which is Mars Black, high granulating, great for mixes. And then this last color I wanted to show would be a mixture of the Lunar Earth. Remember I said these two are best friends? So I'm going to mix the Lunar Earth And I'm going to mix the lunar blue. And we're going to create our first color. So it can become a very brown color. See that? We can call this kind of a lunar gray, like a warm. Or if you keep putting the blue in, you can get it to be even a cooler gray. See? So you can mix up your own colors too. You can make different variations by mixing the different colors. So while this dries, I'm going to go over our handout, our study sheet. Which of the lunars is your favorite so far? Do you like the earthy lunar earth, the red rock, the violet, blue, black, or custom mixing? Look at that custom mix. Isn't that beautiful? So on the study sheet, it says the Lunar series by Daniel Smith features unique watercolors with a high granulating effect. These paints contain pigments that naturally separate and settle into the texture of your paper, creating dramatic, organic patterns that mimic stone, earth, or cosmic surfaces. So galaxies, it really is an atmospheric, colorful color to study. What makes the lunar special? Their granulation power. The pigments clump and separate, leaving a textured look. Natural inspiration. Perfect for painting stone, rock, bark, skies, or abstract textures. Mixing magic. Because they share the PBK 11 as a base pigment, except for these two, lunars can be mixed to create your own custom lunar shades. So in the description of the video today, of the YouTube, in the description, I actually have some substitutions if you don't have these colors and some mixes of how to mix your own. For instance, if you only bought the Lunar Black, how to make lunar blue and lunar violet and lunar red rock. So be sure to check out the description of this video for more information. Expressive and unpredictable. Best when you let the paint and the water do the work. So for painting these wonderful natural patterns, using these as our inspiration, these paints are going to do all the heavy lifting for us. So here, the lunar family, it tells you each of the colors, what the pigment is, and then notes that you find online. But I always like to swatch it and compare the notes for myself, because I don't think that that looks rusty or red orange at all. I think it's more of like a dusky brick color. So tips for using lunar colors. Let the gravity work. Tilt your paper and let pigment settle in unique ways. Pour and splatter. Great for abstract exploration. Layer carefully. Now here's an important note. Lunars can become muddy if overworked, so keep it loose. And mix your own. Add a touch of the Lunar Black to other transparent colors to create new granulating mixes. And one last tip, it's best on textured paper. So cold press or rough press papers enhance the granulation effect. So let's see what your favorites were. Let's see, Lunar Violet and then Lunar Blue. I wonder what the blue and the red would look like. These two, let's look at that. I mixed that and it's a light purple. Lovely, cool, gray purple. Let's look. Let's play for a second. Let's do that. Let's do, you said a little bit of the red and the blue. Let's make a nice puddle of the blue. And then we'll mix the two. Look at that deep color. And then the magic is when you add that water and let it pull away. So yeah, it made like a really deep gray. Let me put some more red in it and see how it shifts. Ooh, that's beautiful. These colors are amazing to mix. And the neat thing is that by mixing, if you stick with these colors, you're always going to get some kind of earthy rock color. Look at that. What if we just took the red and the blue and then added a little bit of the earth? Let's look at that. Look at that beautiful brown. Isn't that fun, guys? I love doing color studies, so be sure to like this video and leave me a comment in the chat or in the comment section if you want to do more color family studies. I could do this every week. Nicola says, love it. The second mix is the one I managed to get. Yeah. And look at how they just seamlessly blended into each other. Just effortlessly. Isn't that amazing? And the granulation. And this paper is pretty smooth compared to this cold press. So another neat thing is as they dry, the colors will pull. Like see how the warm is really showing now against the cool? Beautiful, wonderful, wonderful colors. I would like to see a purple with Lunar Black. Let's see. Oh, like a mixing of purple. You know, it's funny. That's one of the suggestions I put in the description, if I remember right. I can't look it up when we're online, but I think I put dioxazine purple. Let me see. Let me see what purples I have. Maybe we could do a quick look at one. Imperial purple. Let's try the imperial purple since I have it here. The imperial purple, believe it or not, it's kind of a crazy story about the imperial purple. I don't know if you guys know the story or not, but basically it's the same exact two pigments as the rose of ultramarine. It's just biased to the blue side versus the rose side. Show you guys that as well if you want. Really quick, let's see. So here is Rose of Ultramarine, which is a wonderful granulating color in its own right. And here are the same two pigments, but in the Imperial Purple. So both of them are going to have really great granulation and excitement that's happening. But you said the black with the purple. So I'm going to get enough black to where it shows up. Maybe that's too much, but we'll see. Ooh. Look at how beautiful. So I would say a good thing to try would be to take your different colors, get that Lunar Black out and take your different colors and see how many interesting color mixes you could come up with, because I think that is gorgeous. Okay. Fun, huh? Okay, I would like to mix Rose Ultramarine with Lunar Black too. I got you covered. I love it that you guys love to explore colors. We're going to put a nice amount of the Rose of Ultramarine here. A little bit of water. And a little bit of the black. I'm just going to put a little bit at a time. I'm just dipping the corner of my brush in. Here is Rose of Ultramarine with the Lunar Black. Gorgeous. So I would think something that you could say is, even though it's a black, look at how it tones it, but that color, it's still Rose of Ultramarine showing through. Isn't that amazing? And look at, we're still seeing the purple. So Lunar Black can be one of those colors where you can put just a little bit into your mixes to create granulation and beautiful, powerful colors. Now I made a mess in my little sketchbook, but it'll dry. It'll dry. It's fine. So would you guys like to see these colors done in a bird's eye view pattern? Look at how the blue is pulling, the phthalo blue is pulling out. It's amazing, isn't it? Now we can just take a pencil and write what's what. So we have the black, the red, the violet, earth, blue, and then this was blue and earth. I'm going to set this aside, and then this will be great when I'm teaching on Lunars. I'll have it as a little cheat sheet. Put some random circles in here to make the swatching interesting and fun and cute when it's all dry. Okay. So here are those beautiful Lunars. Let me know if you guys want me to take photos of these and put them in the member section. Let's make our own customs, okay? So let's start with the Raw Sienna Light. Raw Sienna Light is a beautiful low tinting strength. Which one should we mix with it? Which one would you like to see? All right, we're gonna go with the Lunar Blue. So we have Raw Sienna Light and Lunar Blue. And we're gonna mix it together equal parts. And we're gonna go ahead and water it out and see what those colors do. How interesting, huh? It's like an interesting kind of green color. Let's do the quinacridone coral. What color should we mix with quinacridone coral? Lunar Black. I was thinking that too. Oop, that's a lot of Lunar Black. A little bit of Lunar Black. There we go. Ooh. Go down here. Oh my gosh, what a passionate color. What? Oh my gosh, you guys, that's Quin Coral and Lunar Black. That's beautiful. Those two colors actually look pretty cool today. Quinacridone Coral, Lunar Black. What about Rose of Ultramarine? We already did that earlier with some Lunar Black. What if we did it with the earth? Put too much earth, not enough Rose of Ultramarine. I think I'm gonna like this one. This is Rose of Ultramarine and Lunar Earth. So pretty, huh? You know what, for this one, Yeah, let's keep going. I have a surprise at the end. Let's keep going. This is the Amazonite. Now we played with Amazonite straight out of the bottle on top of the Lunars, but we didn't make an Amazonite color. So what color should we put into the Amazonite? Any ideas? What if we did, I know, what if we, oh, violet. All right, yeah, let's do violet. I feel like you just can't get it wrong, huh? I mean, these colors all mixed together. Ooh, that's pretty. Ooh, that's really, that looks good with that color. So for those of you who've studied me for a while, I'll say sometimes it's nice to have a color to tone your colors. And I want to say that these Lunars are really interesting for that kind of, because look at how beautiful that color is. That's gorgeous. That's Amazonite, genuine, and Lunar Violet, believe it or not. This was Rose of Ultramarine and Lunar Earth. Okay. Paint's almost dry. How about French of Ultramarine? French Ultramarine's quite a bright color. What should we do to tone it down? How about, what do you think? The red? Black? Okay, let's put some black in there. Are you guys like thinking in your head what it's going to look like, and then when it gets painted out, is it surprising? That's a gorgeous color. I would buy that in a tube all day long. That's so pretty. I think that one's my favorite so far. French Marine and Lunar Black. Oh my gosh. Whew, okay, let's do bronzite. Now, I have a favorite mix with the bronzite, so I'm going to take cuts and I'm going to share it with you guys. But you take the bronzite, which is on my dot card, and you take the lunar blue, which is on my dot card. And talk about it, a super yummy gray color that has not only granulation, but sparkle. Just gorgeous. Really pretty. It doesn't look that pretty here, but it is. It's a pretty color. There we go. And the transparent red oxide, which we know is a really loud color, is amazing. If you go to the Daniel Smith website and go to resources, go to color stories, you can learn so much about pigments. Where were we? Transparent red oxide. What should I mix with that one? See that gray? It looked ugly when I first put it down, but look at it. Isn't that neat? Transparent red, and how about the violet? That might make an interesting color. Ooh, I'd say it made like an umber. I'm going to put it right up on top of this one. Gosh, look at that beauty. That was the violet and the transparent red oxide. All right, what do we have left? We have sepia. Sepia is kind of a black color. It has a black pigment in it, not the same one, but what do you guys think I should add to the sepia? Blending together. Lunar Earth, good choice. Okay, a little bit of Lunar Earth. Maybe I'll put it right here. Ooh, that's a nice, deep, pretty brown, isn't it? It's really pretty. That's sepia and Lunar Earth. And we have one more from our palette because Lunar Blue is already on this palette. is the Payne's Gray. Payne's Gray's got its own kind of vibe and way that it granulates. So this will be interesting. What do we put with the Payne's Gray? One more time, guys. What color? Payne's Gray, Red Rock. I was going to say the same thing. We think alike. Nicole, if you're ever in Southern California, you got to hit me up. We got to hang out. Okay, so this is Payne's Gray and Red Rock. Wow. That's a powerful color. Giving it a couple places to blend together. Okay. I think it's official. Using the Lunars to mix colors, you don't lose the color, you just get this incredibly granulating, textured, beautiful, so I like sepia, a drop of sepia to balance colors and bring them together. But lately I've been doing the Lunar Earth, and now after this experiment, I would say any of the Lunars, just a little bit, will tone your colors into exciting, new, more nature looking colors. Look at that one. That coral is just amazing. This would be a pretty painting, wouldn't it? Okay, let's go and take a look at what we did today. Get my mess out of the way. So using the 5 lunar colors, we experimented and played using natural forms. But first we did our direct swatching, and here are those colors again. Just left alone to their little lonesome, right? Our Lunar Earth, Red Rock, Violet, Blue, Black, and then this was a mix of the 2 top colors to get some cool neutrals. Here we discovered how exciting these colors are added to our regular palette, using our own palette colors and mixing them just randomly with one of these 5 gave some of the most beautiful mixes ever. Like the French Ultramarine and the Lunar Black. I mean, that color is gorgeous. And then using natural forms, we did, thank you guys, and happy weekend, happy painting.